look at the roof compressors, they're currently on wood blocks that are rotting. So yes, the part of the RFP is to have the compressors disconnected and then reconnected.
Yeah.
Yes. So it really doesn't take that long. The hardest part would be if they can move the compressors to another roof or to another part of the building, do the part of the building and then replace the blocks, or to actually take the compressors off.
Move them and have them operate again?
No. So we would do this in the winter. That would be the smart move. But again, the work, we would work on the work to the point where there would be as little inconvenience to homeowners as possible, because we want to, so if we could, and we can only shut down, like one building for half a day or for a whole day, that would be, that would be amazing.
Louder?
Again, I don't have, yeah?
So I guess I have another question.
Yes, one moment, I have another person before you.
Okay.
Yes.
They shoot everything off.
The RFP, so yes, the RFP would be to remove everything down to the base concrete level, and then to re-asphalt and shingle it, I believe, 4 layers. And but again, that's if we did the asphalt, the asphalt and tar. If we did, there's TPO, which is technically another kind of plastic lining, and then PVC, which is another kind of plastic lining. Okay, so those are totally different things. They're kind of like, I don't want to say they're like pool coatings, but they're like pool coatings, and then they melt them together. Okay, I'm sorry, is it DB? Can I call you DB?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Yeah, and obviously I think you'll get more information if you reach out to another insurance agent. But I mean, I think it's maybe a bit of a reach to suggest that 100% of that increase was because the insurance company felt as though we may or may not have had a compromised roof. I mean, rates in general have been going up considerably. So I don't know that there's necessarily a 1-to-1 correlation that entire increase was 100% attributable to issues with the roof. That's just kind of a general comment.
No, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with there's that possibility. What I'm more wanting to make sure people understand, though, is that
right.
There was an increase of $225,000, and that increase just insurance renewal when it could have been used towards an item that was brought up with insurance for renewal.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
From what I understand, there were two, the increase came in, and that's why we ended up having an assessment, because they came back and said that it was higher than they originally thought because of the assessment.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
So Robert, this is Lisa Robert.
You're ready.
One moment, Ms. Wright. I have somebody before you.
Okay.
If we were to determine that in fact it would give us a break on that's theoretical.
Yeah.
But if we did find that out, we could also be true that it's not just the break we were getting that first year, but it would be an ongoing break because it would lower the insurance.
Sure.
And it would stay in that rate and just add as part of the cost.
Well, so I bring this up because it is another factor that everybody has to consider. The new laws, because of, I hate bringing up the towers, but the new laws, because of the incident, now state that everybody has to do a reserve study.
Right.
Not just a structural reserve study, but a reserve study. Your reserve study company is going to come out here as a third party, and they're going to look at the roof and they're going to say it's the original roof. So they're going to mention in that document that everybody gets at the end of the year, hey, your roof is 40, 50, 60 something years old, if not older, right? And it's being maintained, right? But it's got cracks in it and whatnot. and this is what it costs to replace it. And its useful life, even though it's being maintained, is going to be at 1 or 2 or 0 years, okay? And that's going to hurt everybody's ability to sell their unit, to have people buy into the unit, because documents are going to be readily available to everyone who purchases in, as well as all homeowners, okay? I'm sorry, Ms. Wright, you had a question?
Yeah, so it's more of a comment than a question. I don't have a definite opinion on do we replace the roof, do we not replace the roof. I hear all the pros and cons, and I'll leave it up to the experts to see what's best on that. But my one question would be that as you're considering doing this, if you do redo the roof, take a look at what Citizens is saying that they will accept for insurance, because I've seen articles recently that there are certain types of roofing that Citizen is not considering a re-roofing. And so I would just request that you keep that in mind when you're making this decision. So
we already are. That's one of the reasons why the new agent's coming in, because where Citizens is one of, if not the primary direction we're hoping to go into with insurance. So everybody's aware, Citizens Insurance is a carrier specifically from the state of Florida, for the state of Florida, specifically to make sure that associations have like a better, a more regular insurance cost. And they do have, stringent policies on what kind of properties they can insure. But if you meet those standards, and they're not difficult standards to meet, it's just, some regular routine maintenance and answering some questions, they do come in at, I've seen it, like I said, I had a property in Miami Gardens, and they had an increase from 400,000 all the way up to 839,000. And Citizens came in the following year, and they didn't do their roofs. They had their roofs, and their roofs were about 7, 8 years old, and they didn't redo their roofs. But we did get inspections and all that kind of stuff, and we sent it over to Citizens, and sure enough, Citizens came back, and it was, I think, 420. So, yeah.
That's right, but
But that's what I'm saying, exactly. I'm sorry, I want to go ahead, and then.
Also, I just wanted to add to what Robert said, that reserve spend will require us to reserve for the roof anyway, so we're going to pay for it one way or another.
Yeah.
And so, as we take it out, why wait and have our values, property values?
You know what?
But also, I wanted to mention that unfortunately, we have no reserves for roofing. Our reserves were allotted to certain items, and we have nothing reserved for our 50-year-old roofing. It's really kind of unbelievable. And also, except for we have about a little amount left reserved for hazard. That's the only reserve we have for anything. But all our main buildings have zero in reserve. We've never put aside anything. And it's like the biggest ticket items we probably
One of.
So that's a really huge oversight that we that's not.
Any other questions? Any other comments? It's an open forum. No? Okay.
So,
Moving on.
Robert, actually, just one last comment. You said that you're looking at Citizens to replace our current insurance. I know that I've received letters as a private homeowner where Citizens has been trying to encourage me to go with other carriers. And I think the state is, in some ways, is trying to get out of the insurance business to some extent. So to say that that's the direction to go, I'm confused. So.
Well, so again, we're bringing in a new agent, and I don't have any problems with the old agent. She seemed very nice and confident, but I'm looking to be more proactive when it comes to insurance renewal and informative with the homeowners. So this way, here's a $225,000 increase, and nobody knew about it until a week before we had to renew, and guess what? You have to renew with it. Exactly. So that's my thing. We're looking at Citizens, we're looking at other carriers. We're hoping that a new roof would not be necessary. But again, I'm giving you all the information that is given to me so that everybody is made aware and informed and everything is out there. I want to make sure that everybody understands everything that's going on and that everybody feels comfortable in either asking me questions or knowing what's going on. That's it. Any other questions on the roof? Yeah?
I would say, I think that in a sense, we have been misinformed over the last number of years as to the condition, the real condition of the roof. That's all, and that's what my story was about. So that what we were told and what we think was so may not have clearly not been so. That's all.
Yeah, I look, let's not look at the past and, oh my God, all that kind of stuff. Let's look future and let's try and be proactive and let's act as a community and whatnot, okay?
This roof is almost 60 years old.
I believe yes.
Is that normal? Because
Well, no, hold on. A normal roof lifespan is about 40 years, yes? However, it can be extended out with regular maintenance, okay?
Yep.
So regular maintenance, it can be extended out. So I have seen 60-year roofs, I have, okay? My issue is that I have not seen 70, 80-year roofs, and if we're going to continue to just maintain the roof, right, we need to consider a different type of maintenance because this isn't at least cutting it with insurance and definitely probably not going to cut it in the long term because there are roof intrusions.
and this roof it's got to be coming up anyway.
Oh, it is. And
in case it fell, in a couple of years, it's going to have to be.
But I want everybody to understand that, you know, like there are 60, so a brand new roof usually has a shelf life of 40 years depending on the type of materials you use. However, it can be maintained after 60 years. That is absolutely true.
I've been on that roof.
I'm sorry, yeah, I want to make sure, everybody gets to talk, so.
But more importantly, you know, is the air conditioned unit, that, my husband was on the retired to do something.
Yeah.
That's not that was not just safe, the way the air conditioning. Air one good 4 or 5 category storm, that's going to be a.
Yes, so, first of all, I don't want to recommend anybody go up on the roof to look at the AC unit. No. However, yes, another thing that wasn't maintained or is not being maintained is the AC stands, the support. Those things are rotting away. And so those things should be addressed. And if you're doing that, anyway, I don't want to get into that. I'm sorry. So, sir? Yes.
Now, wasn't it a while back where I was thinking on what the places were replaced, but as per all places?
A unit owner should not be replacing the actual AC stand. The compressors are a homeowner responsibility. And the connection of the compressors usually is done by a homeowner's vendor. But the stand, the actual base, is connected to the roof and should not be done by any vendor other than the association. One, because it's connected to the roof, so anything you do, if it's not done correctly and it causes a roof leak, right, then I'd rather be held liable for a roof leak that I caused or that a vendor I brought in caused rather than a vendor that you brought in caused, which is one of the reasons why when people say, hey, I need roof access, there's a lot that goes into roof access. You know, it's not just I unlock the door. I watch some people go up there. I need to make sure people are licensed. I need to make sure people are insured. These are things that need to be done because I don't want just anybody willy-nilly up on the rooftop. There's some crazy people out there. Okay. Yeah, sorry, sir, go ahead.
I'm all for it. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but we'll come up with the money. Is that years ago, before you did it, you were told your unit is only value what your, what the company reserve.
Okay.
You were line in the building that has your reserve, you're in trouble, right? But if you're fully funded now, which is gonna have to be eventually, don't pay. But what I'm thinking is, a new roof does definitely add value to the event, right? That's something that could compel people on, because there's gonna be a lot of people that are against it, right?
Well, so what it is like this. Okay, first of all, I want to dispel the fully funded rumors. It's a plan to get to fully funded. The reserve study you're going to see is going to give you a 30-year projection. Okay, because if it was to get to fully funded, then that means that this year we would have an assessment of $10,000, maybe even $15,000 per unit, just for reserves to get to fully funded, which is not, no one in their right, they would march on the Capitol and kill people in Florida. It would be that bad. So it's a plan to get to fully funded, okay? And to be honest, if you're doing it right, you never get there, because as you put money in, you spend money to make the building better, and then your what they call it's the total amount that's needed for all reserved items. I don't. It's like the fully funded. It's like the fully funded amount, right? But they actually have a name for it. That goes down because you've now spent money on a new item. So, like, take for instance the roof. Okay, if you do the roof, right? Now your fully funded item goes down by about $500,000, right? And then your line item, what you do is you actually have a line item at about 10 years, which is roof maintenance, and then another 10 years for roof maintenance. So this way, you don't have at 40 years a thing that says brand new re-roof for $500,000. You know, and that's what the reserve study is for. It's a projected schedule of money you should put in, because you're going to be spending more money 2-3 years down the road for items, so that now this fully funded amount goes down and you're just maintained, and you're maintained. And that's what they want. They don't want everything to be funded for. They want to see that you're maintaining your building and keeping property values high. That's all that's exactly what, and part of the issue, and this is the thing, is that when people see the reserve study, I'll tell you, buyers, smart buyers look at the reserve study, and they don't look at all the different pages. They look at what's coming 1, 2, 3 years down the road, okay? And 1, 2, 3 years down the road, is it 100,000, is it 50,000, is it 300,000, and what is it? And then how much do you have in reserves now, okay? And if those items, if the amount that you have now doesn't engulf what you have next year, the year after, or the year after that, right? People start to worry, especially if the amounts are extreme. Yes, that's when it results in a special assessment, or items not being maintained, and then an emergency special assessment. Correct. Some people don't look at the thing, or and with all due respect to Florida 5 years ago, right? That's the problem. Like, that was the problem 5 years ago. This is one of the reasons why we have this issue now, is because there was a lot of things. Again, I only been in Florida 2 years. I heard this, but I heard, oh, yeah, the roof kind of needs to be repaired, but we'll spend like $2,000 and we'll throw a seal coat on top of it, and it'll be fine for another year, and it'll be fine and they do that for another year and another year and another year, and it's okay to do it for 2 or 3 years, and you're collecting money to try and, it's different if you're collecting money to try and, replace it. But when you say another year, another year, another year, another year, and you're collecting no money to replace it, now I'm saying,
For people that passed away,
yeah,
that's a really bad thing.
exactly.
And that is big.
Okay. Any other? Yeah.
We want the smart buyers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
They're gonna be the people.
let me tell you something. No, you want a property that's so smart that buyers can be dumb and still be safe. That's what you really want. You want a property that is running so that to the point where a realtor says, let me tell you something. This place is run like a like a ticket